Search.
People always talk about my come up, cause I've been going on every summer. Pussy wanna talk about numbers, but your manager buying twice, show so bummy, ain't nobody out now that can touch us.
What's up, y'all? Screw the rules, YuGiOh here, and I got my boy John over here who literally went undefeated, got first place at the Maze of Memories
case tournament at Koalaty Games. Shout out to them, by the way.
Woo.
I brought a deck that I did not know how to play, so I built it together and somehow got first place with it.
And what deck was that, bro?
That, my good sir, is good old Dark Worlds, my guy.
Just hand ripping?
I hand ripped everyone. I blew up boards and called it a day. And easy does it.
Man, you took that whole case tournament. That's crazy.
Yes, sir.
Where'd you get the mat, though?
The mat? You're talking about this mat right here? Was part of the prizing as well.
So you won that too on top of the case?
Yes, sir. It was pretty stacked, not gonna lie. The pricing was really good.
Oh my God.
And with
so many boxes. Congratulations, John. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Do you remember your matchups?
I do remember my matchups. My round one was against Runic Sprite. Blew him out of the water. He didn't know what to do against the deck. My second round was against Sword Soul. Was pretty back and forth, not gonna lie. Round three was against a Cash player. The deck's supposed to lose to Cash, but somehow did it.
You didn't care about Rise Hard Pass?
Bro.
You didn't
play a card in here that outs it. That's the only card that we have an out to it.
Gotcha.
My round four was against Trap Tricks. Easy, bro. Super easy. Super easy. I'm sorry, my boy Timmy Tim. I'm sorry that I had to do that to you, bro. But you know, it is what it is. And then my fifth round was another Cash player, which
for your last round, you versus Meta. Okay,
yes, sir,
okay.
Yes, sir.
And again, you didn't care about Rise Hard Pass.
No.
Goddamn right.
Very crazy, John.
Absolutely,
again, congratulations on winning that case
you.
tournament for Maze of Memories. That's crazy. Did you pull any CRs?
I did. I pulled one CR Floor and a CR Chimera.
You pulled a Baron?
Yes, sir, dude. It was stacked, bro. First things first is going to be 3 Rainbow. Should be pretty self-explanatory. When this card is discarded, it lets you add a level 5 or higher Dark World monster. And then if it's discarded by your opponent's card effect, you get to also special 1 Dark World from grave or deck to either side of the field. It is important, part of the hand ripping. I think this one's also pretty self-explanatory. I played 2 of the Grappa. This one is either a pop 1 if it's discarded, no matter what. It's discarded by card effect, you get to pop 1 on their side of the field. And then if it's discarded by your opponent's card effect, you get to look at a random card from your opponent's hand. And if it's a monster, you can choose to special summon it to your side of the field. Last thing, I forgot to mention about Rainbow as well. Rainbow and Grappa have similar effects to how they can actually special back to the field. It's not an activated effect to special themselves. By bouncing back, it doesn't activate. It's just inheritable. Bounce back the Dark World monster to special summon them. The key difference is, though, this one has to bounce a level 7 or lower, and this one has to bounce just any Dark World. It comes up because people always forget that they bounce this first, and then they try to bounce it with Rainbow, so you gotta keep that in mind. And then next, for the best card of the deck, 3 Genta. This deck would not be playable without this card.
Alright, bro.
What this card does, very specific, right? It is not a once per turn effect to discard it to search the field spell.
And field spell gas?
Field spell is absolute gas. What it does is you discard it, search the gates. And then the other effect, which is a hard once per turn, so keep that in mind. If it's banished, while you control gates on the field, you could special summon him from the banish. So it's very necessary, and there's always situations where you can special summon him, bounce him back with Grappa or Rainbow, and then discard it again to search another gates. So it's really cool. Next, the Stratos of the deck is going to be 3 Snow. If it's discarded by a card effect, you get to search any Dark World card. The other effect, which I have done a pretty significant amount of times, is if this card is discarded by your opponent's card effect, you get to reborn 1 monster from their side of the grave. Very, very strong. So against a Cash player, you can reborn the Fenrir. If this gets discarded off of Cerulli or for like your Grappa fusion, you get to special summon their Fenrir for free. It's really, really good.
Oh man, right there, that's so much pressure by itself.
It's a lot of pressure, a lot of pressure. Fenrir alone is a lot of pressure.
Okay, but that's Stratos of the deck.
That's Stratos, absolutely. Next, I feel like you have to play this over like any other combination of cards.
No, man, people call it a brick.
This is a brick. Don't get me wrong. This is a brick. You see this card in your opening hand, you just cry. But you have to play it either way. I think 2 is the absolute number that you have to play. You can't play 1 because if you're playing against Kashtira and then they banish this off of Mind Hacker or Rise Heart, you kind of just lose. So you have to play 2. I think it's a good number. This is the hand rip. So if it's discarded, you get to special summon it from the grave. If it's discarded by your opponent's card effect, you activate the effect to put 2 cards from your opponent's hand to the bottom of the deck and then special summon.
Oh man, how many times have we just
once per match? At least once per match. There was never a time that I never ripped someone's hand. Yeah. Everyone hated me that day, but it happened.
So he's the brick, but he's the one that just does it.
He's the one that basically says FTK, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And then obviously the one that actually does the FTK itself, in a sense. This is Cerulli, it's just a 1-of. Some people play 2, I just prefer 1. I like searching it, and if I open it, it's not a bad card. If this card is discarded by a card effect, very important here, you get to special summon it to your opponent's side of the field. And then if it's discarded by a Dark World effect, you get get to, wherever it's special, the other person has to discard one. In a sense, if you're discarding this off of a Dark World, you special this to your opponent's side of the field, you activate this on your opponent's side, you discard the Silva, and that's where your loop is. And then for the danger stuff, and I'm gonna tell you something, I think my danger number is completely wrong. I'm also playing not a card in here because I don't own the card for some reason, but you'll see in a moment. So we're playing 3 of the Rhoda for the danger stuff. This is Nessie, the boy. Pretty self-explanatory. If you discarded it, you get to search danger.
If they don't hit it.
If they hit it, you search a danger. If they don't hit it, you get a free draw.
Oh, okay, we're okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I played 2 of the Bigfoots. You have to play this card because...
Is that the pop one?
This is the pop one.
Okay.
And key difference here between the Dangers and the Dark Worlds, these don't miss timing if they're discarded for cost. Very important.
Yeah.
Dark Worlds have to be discarded by a
Dark
card
World
effect.
old school. Dark
The
World
other thing too is that Dark Worlds have to be discarded to the grave by a card effect. These can activate even if they're banished and they're discarded. The reason why I mention this is because Bigfoot is one of your only outs to a Rise Heart if they don't have Goliath attached. So if this card is discarded, you get to pop a card on the field. Plus it's a level 8, so it really helps out with...
When you build a board?
Exactly, pretty much.
Gotcha.
We played 2 of the Mothman because we're no longer in the tier format, baby. So that's what.
Draw card, bro.
Yeah, I want to draw a card, discard one. I don't care if your opponent draws one. I'm gonna rip the hand anyway.
You're goddamn right.
It's a Dark World Dealings.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, back
you're
then
right.
you couldn't play this card because here was just too fucking scary. But now because they don't exist
list,
anymore,
bro?
because of the ban list.
Konami took TR back, bro.
Exactly. So this card is actually very strong. And now this is the reason why I was saying I think my numbers are wrong.
Gotcha.
So I play 1 Jackalope, which is necessary. This is the one that specials 1 from the deck if it's discarded. I play 1 Sunoco. This is just a reborn for itself, and then that's it because I don't play Chupacabra.
Okay.
So you're supposed to play Chupacabra. I'm telling you right now. Everyone needs to, whoever's playing this deck needs to play Chupacabra. It's a level 4.
So we're gonna add a little Chupacabra over here.
Yeah, right here. Little Chupi boy, you know? Mexico is Chupacabra. Anyways, you need to play Chupacabra for one reason. It's a fiend, it's a dark, and it's level 4. That's the only reason why. And it does help sometimes if it's discarded because it's a reborn for any danger. So it does come up. The ratios weren't that bad at all. I think just because I didn't have Chupacabra felt kind of like mediocre at the time. So that's it for the dangers. I think that was a pretty good number, I think.
Danger package over here?
So this is what I replaced Danger Chupacabra with.
This card.
Alright, this card right here. So you reveal him and 1 fiend from your hand. You get to choose which one is going to be special summoned and the other one's going to be discarded. And then the other effect is while he's in the grave, if yours or your opponent's monster is destroyed by battle that's involving a fiend in a sense, to add this back to your hand. It's just the first effect that you mostly care about.
Yeah.
So in a sense, if you brick on all Dark World monsters that isn't Genta is not a brick, I'm going to be honest. If you have all Dark World plus Genta, you play the game.
Let's go.
But if you open Dark Worlds that isn't Genta plus this card, you get to start playing the game. It's nice. I liked it. It came up enough for me to play it again. Next is the honorary Danger Dark World card. This is Zephyros. This is a 4th Gates. It's a 4th Genta. It's a 4th Snow. It's a lot of things.
Gas.
So everyone knows what it does. It's just a bounce 1 to pay for 400. So it's really good. I like it.
Another free body to extend, right?
Exactly. It's another body. It's a level 4 and it's a dark. So this is how I was beating my cash matchup. Because this deck is mostly all engine, you can't necessarily play going second cards, right? You have to find a way, in a sense, to find a going second card in the deck that can still play the deck efficiently. So the card of choice I was talking about is Radiant. Reason being, it's a dark, but it's a fiend. So this is your out to a Rise Heart, because the name of the game is if you can out a Rise Heart, you can play the game. So if you open this card, you basically won the game if you're going second. If you go first, it's actually not that bad, because it's a target for lore, it's a target for gates, so it's not that bad. The only time it's kind of scary is when you're playing against a cash player. It's a level 7, so if they stop you, it can get kind of freaky, but you know what, just be patient, learn how to play the deck, and no matter what, the level 7 is not going to matter.
Gotcha. But yeah, but a Rise Heart pass still too much. Right?
It's a little too scary, but you have to learn how to deal with it. That's it for the monsters in general. I don't know what the number is for the monsters, but it's there. I think this is either 40. See, this deck is either 40 or 41. I never count my dice. On to the spells. Start off with the lore. This is my draw card of choice compared to what other people are playing, which is trade-in, or a combination of both. Gotcha. I like just the 3 allure. Your whole deck is dark. You should never be worried about this card.
Always got targets.
Exactly. You always have a target, so it's not that bad. And also, you need to dig through the deck. You need to find Radiant against a Rise Heart, and if you can't, you're just kind of just losing and hope to God that you can play the game.
Man, the card's not once per turn. It's
exactly.
scary.
Not once per turn, so that's why you have to draw 2. It's a pot of grief for the deck. Next, we play the 3 gates. This is your main combo piece. You have to play 3, you can't play 2. I'm sorry for the people who want to play 2. You need to see this card either through searching purposes or just standard enablers. This is your extender, this is your starter. It's everything for you. Genta searches this, so why wouldn't you play 3, you know? It's a banish 1 fiend for cost, to discard 1 fiend, to draw 1.
And then we start?
And then do it again.
Yeah.
Do it again. Then do it again. People always forget that this boosts all fiends on the field by 300. People tend to forget when they crash, they just always forget that my bodies are bigger. Next, you have to play 2 a session. I personally I think you have to play 2 a session.
What's this card do?
This card is ridiculous. I'm gonna be honest with you. This card is ridiculous. This one won me against the Sword Soul deck. If this card is in your grave, every time you draw a Dark World card, you're playing the game. So you activate it in the grave, discard a Dark World card to add this back to your hand every time. So it gives you a free Grappa every time. It gives you a free Rainbow, a Silva, Search for Snow, anything and everything.
You're playing the game.
You're playing the game. So this card's ridiculous. I think so. The other thing too is that it's a fusion. You have to get to the Grappa fusion to stop Evenleys, to stop Nibiru's, to stop Drolls, stuff like that. These you can fusion to any Dark Fiend fusion by banishing the material from hand, field, or grave. But if you're fusioning for a Dark World fusion, you get to also discard cards from your hand instead for the fusion material.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And the reason why I say that is because it's a quick play, so you get to play on your opponent's turn as well. So if you're going second, you go, fart on them with this card. So it's really good. The other reason why we have to play 2, it's because Rise Heart. I'm afraid of them banishing the only 1-up. Yeah, so I want to see this card. Next for the last Dark World 1-of Archives. This card's okay. I'm not gonna lie. It's okay. It's not the best. But sometimes it's necessary to search. It's another name to search. It's another discard enabler. So the way it works is, while it's on the field, you can activate the effect if you control a Dark World monster. Discard 1 Dark World from your hand to boost all Dark Worlds that you currently control by the level that you discarded. But that's not the reason why you play, because I never cared about the game. The important part about the card is the fact that it says if a Dark World is discarded by a Dark World effect, you get to activate the effect, discard 1 to draw 2.
That's crazy.
You get to draw 2, bro. It's another way to draw the deck. I'm kind of iffy on the card. I think it's okay. It's not the worst, but it's not the best either.
Gotcha.
It does enough for the deck. Next, your God card. This is your win button.
That card says I'm winning the game.
This card right here single-handedly should be winning you the games. You get to rip your opponent's hand traps from the hand. If they don't have Ash, they just lose, so it's always nice.
That card literally is the win con.
Exactly, I agree. Last, we're playing 2 more 1-ups. These are my other going second cards in a sense. If I'm going second or if I'm going first, these do help you a lot. So I'm playing the 1-of Thrust and the 1-of Talent.
Okay, no, I understand.
So for the people who don't understand how this interaction works, right? Because some people don't, and it's alright. These both are live the moment that Cerulli hits your opponent's side of the field.
What does that have to do with me?
No. He's got a point.
Oh, you're right.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. So the way it works is your opponent has to activate a monster effect in the main phase. Activate one of these, right? Well, guess what? You're giving this to your opponent. This has to mandatory activate.
That's so cool. You force it, and you're like,
rip 2 from your opponent's hand, and then if you have this in hand, you rip another card from your opponent's hand, or you get to search one of your
whatever.
You get to search any normal spell, so you get to search your God card. You get to search Allure, so if your hand is kind of doggy water,
dude, I love that interaction with this card.
Absolutely.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I've done this a lot of times.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
Dude,
They bring John over here, bro. Let's go.
They knew. I don't think you should be playing 2 talents over 1 and 1. I think Thrust is fundamentally better because it also helps with your side deck, You get to search for side deck cards, and you'll see what I mean in a moment once I pull it out.
Pause.
Yeah, that's it for the main deck. Like I said, I'm not sure if it's 40 or 41, but it worked really well.
That's pretty hot main deck. All right, John, let's get into the extra
for
deck,
the extra
bro.
deck, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. These are your Grappas. Omni Negate. It forces you to discard 1 by your opponent's effect. So again, they trigger your Dark World's hidden abilities. But the real thing that people always forget about this card is if this card leaves the field by your opponent's card, you get to activate the effect by specialing a Grappa from your grave or from your banish to your side of the field. And then if you or your opponent have a card in their hand, they have to discard. So you special Grappa and you discard 1. It's very strong. Yeah, but you only play 2. If you play 3, I think it's unnecessary. And then 1, Cash is always going to look at your extra deck and rip it out.
Yeah,
I think this is the more
that.
important card to rip. You have to play, personally, I think you have to play the 3 Nightmares.
Okay, why?
They're fiends. They're all fiends. And also, the other important thing, too, is that sometimes your level 8s are stuck on the board and you don't know what to do with them. Well, guess what? You could just
want them engraved.
You should start link climbing with these cards. The main important thing is you want your Grappa and Rainbow always engraved to enable the consistency of specialing them back and doing other nonsense. Now, the real MVP of the deck. Woo!
What did she do, bro? I never
This card right here, this card says Reborn Bag Grappa.
Oh,
Yeah, so what it does is, for the people who don't know, so you activate the effect by targeting a fiend in your grave. For the rest of this turn, you will be locked into fiends, and then you discard 1 card from your hand to reborn the card that you target.
you keep discarding?
Yes, sir. You keep discarding. It's discarding for effect. So there's interactions where you can link this away, bring this out, reborn
Summon it
this,
back.
and then you got another discard off of it. It's very neat.
That's crazy. Okay,
And
and only one of her?
Yeah, I wish, honestly, I wish I played 2. Because I guess the cash players, they're going to look at this card, they're going to immediately rip it. I wanted to play 2, but, you know, 1 is fine for
Man, that
now.
helps you push.
This card also has another hidden ability. So if any one of your monsters would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you get to send a monster on your side of the field to the grave instead. A nice little thing I used to do is I made this with graph on the board, and then you just co-link these. So now this card is always going to be stuck on board.
Bro, how many cards are you drawing, bro?
There was a time where I ended up with 9 cards in hand and still kept going. It's ridiculous.
crazy.
But the reason why is because you want her to not be destroyed by battle by card effect because of these. And then this protects this protects this. You know, it's a nice little co-link scenario.
Such a good interaction.
And then Grapha, oh man, you're going to destroy this card by card effect? Cool. You know, send this card instead. Or vice versa, send this card if you don't want the protection of card effect or protection of battle. It's very nice. I like it. I like it a lot. So the next card, you had to play these. These are what you call your looping enablers. If this card is link summon, you had to use 2 of the same type with different names to special summon this card. And what it says is when this card is link summoned, you get to bounce whatever is pointing to back to your hand. So the way it works is you would special summon the Cerulli in one of the zones where your link monster is pointing to. So you special the Cerulli, and special this, and you're gonna bounce it back to your hand. Now, this card is now ready for another looping interaction. And it gets even better if you have the Cerulli here and you have any of your dangers underneath where it's pointing to, because now you get to bounce another discard fodder and your Cerulli.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
That's so nutty. Okay.
Yeah, it's insane.
Purposeful.
Security Dragon does the same thing, but it bounces
2 monsters.
It's just 2 monsters, so you can use, guess what, your Nibiru tokens, which let's come up.
Oh, and you get to keep going.
Yeah, you get to keep going. This right here says, if this card is co-linked, you get to target 1 monster on the field and then bounce it back to the hand. You can only activate this once while it's on the field. Bounce back to Cerulli. Sometimes you even bounce the Radiant if you want to clear the board. So this card has like a weird ability where if this card is co-linked, you get to activate the effect, call a name, and then excavate the top cards of your deck equal to the number of total co-links that's to it. If you don't have it, you mill all of them. If you do have the one that you call, if you have the 1 card to your hand, mill the rest. The majority of the time you search for Thrust with this card.
Gotcha. That's crazy.
And then for the links, we're playing the 1-star YuGiOh and 1 for the Appaloosa.
Draw cards.
You
and
draw cards,
negate.
and to special summon. That's always important.
I forgot.
Yeah,
Okay,
it has a special. It has a special. And then the other effect, obviously, you just want to negate stuff. So once you clear the board, or once you hand rip them, you want to have multiple negations of monsters.
And you're just controlling it from there.
Exactly. For the XCs, I'm going to put these all out really quick because it's actually important. So these are my 3 rank 4s.
Dude, Exciton Knight.
Exciton. You know why I play this card?
Budget
You want to
Zeus,
know why I
bro.
play this card? It's a fiend. It's a fiend. It's a fiend and it's Zeus. I mean,
It's
why wouldn't you
Zeus.
want to play it? This card. He's a fiend. Everyone thinks it's a beast. It's a fiend. Baguska's a fiend. You want to make this card at the end, so that way none of your stuff will ever get destroyed. And then this, of course, he's a fiend. He's a draw to discard 1, and also he's a reborn, which never came up, but the draw to discard one was very important.
You never OTK with him?
Didn't have to. I just always hand rip.
You can't keep getting away with it!
For my rank 8s of choice, of course, you have to play the Coach King. This card says is your win button. It requires 3 level 8s. Detach, reveal the top card. Always gets added to your hand. If it's a monster, reveal it, burn for 800. And it's not a hard once per turn. So if you reveal 3 monsters, guess what? You're burning for 2400. It's a pot of greed plus upstart for no reason.
All right, our opponents are paying 24, man.
And then I played this. I played Zombie Vampire.
Ooh, why? Why?
I had no idea what to throw in the extra deck as the 15th card. And I didn't want to play a rank 8, but I was convinced to play a rank 8. So I didn't want to play Hope Harbinger. I think that card's pretty bad in the deck personally. What? So I played, yeah, exactly. So I played Zombie Vampire. 2 level 8s, you detach 1, you make you and your opponent mill 4. And then from the mill 4s on either side, you get to special summon one of the monsters that was revealed. So majority of the time, you're going to be revealing any of your Dark Growth monsters. So that way Rainbow and Grapha have now a live play, or even a danger. That's always important too. Or if you're playing against Cash, you get to reborn Fenrir. I mean, why wouldn't you want to do that? The side deck. Alright. You don't normal summon. So this
really?
should be your normal summon.
This not scared of trap
You
decks,
shouldn't be-
bro. Literally says you can't activate any set.
Ankoseka is a menace.
You
for
got
this deck.
judgment? No judgment?
No judgment, alright.
I get to play.
Next we play the 3 hand traps, so we play the Gamma package.
What are we scared of, bro? What are we scared of?
Droll and Shifter every time.
and
Droll and
Shifter.
Shifter. Those cards are way too scary if
So
you're going
for
first.
game 2 and 3, right when people are siding in?
Yeah, exactly. You side these in game 3 only. Most of the time.
Oh, okay, game
yeah,
3.
if you're going game 2, you can do the 2, but you don't want to break on these cards. That's the only reason why. And then this is my last monster. This is my tech of choice. What gold is, this is for my only game 2s when I know I'm going second. This is my side deck card where I would side out 1 Silva to replace with 1 gold. So what this card is, it's the same concept with Silva by ripping 2 in a sense, but you're ripping the board instead. Because majority of the time your opponent is not going to have a hand. They're going to have a full board. You discard this by your opponent's card effect, special summon this, and destroy up to 2 cards your opponent controls. So I kept threatening the trap Graphics player with this card every time. It just clears the board. It makes it easier for you to mitigate the board.
Gotcha.
That's all the reason why I play.
Okay.
Next.
But we got first place, bro.
Absolutely. So this is my one-ups.
For thrust?
Yeah. So these are my thrust targets. This is just the outer rise heart. This is just the out back row.
Yep.
It's that simple. For the traps, though, you have to play through evenly. It's the same concept for Danko. You want to rip the board.
It's such a current card in the format,
Exactly,
bro. Everyone
exactly.
just needs to break the board.
And then my favorite card of the deck.
We're playing
Sir, Epidemic Virus, sir. This is what I was talking about for the side.
Bro,
deck.
have you done it?
Absolutely. Game 3, Rip 4, made Appaloosa, revealed Thrust, set this, and then called spells. Because that's the most important thing you're worried about of the deck. So once you rip your opponent's hand, you're mostly worried about them opening up a spell that can kill you, or that can then start their plays.
Gotcha.
So if you can do this on their draw phase or on their standby phase, whatever works, call the spells, you usually should be winning the game, because then you have Appaloosa plus Grappler.
That's it for the side deck?
Absolutely. That's it for the whole deck. I think it's pretty simple. Don't be afraid of playing this deck. I think the deck is perfectly fine.
Bro, structure deck.
Structure deck. Buy 3 structure decks, buy an $80 card, and you should be winning.
And you start hand ripping, bro.
You start hand
and build
exactly,
the board.
Exactly.
It just does everything, bro.
It does everything you want it to do. And it makes you learn how to do solitaire better with the game.
So again, John, congratulations on
Thank
going
you, man.
undefeated
Thank you.
at the Case tournament for Maze of Memories at Koalaty.
Absolutely.
That's
Thank you.
crazy.
Thank you.
John, do you have any shout outs before we go?
Quick shout out to my shop, TGS right now, man. Best store. They provide a lot of things for me, and I appreciate them all. Shout out to your channel, man. Shout out to Screw the Rules.
Hey,
I hope
appreciate
everyone
you, bro.
loves your channel. And shout out to everyone in the Chicagoland area to help me play test every day and make it better.
Let's go,
Appreciate it, man.
John.
Thank you,
Appreciate
man.
you, bro. Appreciate the
Appreciate
love,
it,
bro.
man.
All right,
All right,
John, we're going to see you the next one. You're going to keep winning.
Absolutely. I'm going to try my best.
Just going to keep winning Case tournaments,
Yeah,
bro.
man.
Regionals.
Absolutely.
We're going to see you, bro, next
All right,
time.
man.
All right.
Appreciate it,
See you in
man.
the future, bro.
All right.
Peace.
Deuces.
Keep it low and talk about my come up. Cause I've been going all every summer. Pussy wanna talk about numbers. But your manager buying swipe show, so bummy ain't nobody out now. They can